One summer day, I went to the forest and spent time there, keeping myself occupied. Around noon, I ate lunch and then sat on my chair, watching the flow of the river. I loved cooking beside the water, and whenever I wanted to go out, I came to this forest and prepared food next to the river, which lay in a wide open plain. My house was in the forest, in an open area surrounded by dense trees. It was not far from town, about 20 minutes by car. That day, as usual, I had been by the river since morning and stayed until evening. When the sky began to darken, I packed my things and started heading home. Few people came to that area, not because it was far from town, but because it was a vast forest filled with wild animals. Some time earlier, a family that had visited the area had been attacked and severely injured. Despite this, I loved the place, and that danger was one of the reasons I had chosen to live in the forest. After picking up my backpack, I walked toward my house. The sun was nearly set as I left the plain and entered the forest. After walking for a few minutes, I heard a sound. I looked around but saw nothing and kept going. I wanted to get home quickly so I wouldn't miss the football match that night. A few minutes later, I heard the sound again. This time, it felt closer. I stopped, my heart pounding, and fear crept in. I turned and looked behind me and around me, but there was nothing. No one came to this place, and it wasn't suitable for camping. Only a few people visited occasionally on weekends, and they usually stayed in the plains. I told myself it was just my imagination and continued walking. I started thinking about football. Sometimes I traveled to other cities to watch matches, but most of the time I preferred watching at home. That night, my favorite team was playing, and I wanted them to win. Suddenly, I heard the sound again, much clearer this time. It was like a branch snapping. I realized I wasn't imagining it. Something was there. I started running. After running several hundred meters, I was out of breath and stopped. I looked around, breathing hard, and thought I had escaped. I began walking again. A few minutes later, I heard a low growl behind me. I turned and saw something I never wanted to see, a huge bear, growling. It had been nearby the whole time and was waiting for the right moment to attack. Terrified, I realized I hadn't brought my gun. I ran again, and the bear charged after me. I climbed a nearby tree and looked down. The bear came closer and stared up at me. The tree wasn't very large. The bear stood there for a moment, then backed away. I thought it was leaving. Suddenly, it stopped, rushed forward, and slammed its body into the tree, shaking it violently. I clung to the trunk so I wouldn't fall. The bear repeated this several times, then stepped back and stood still, as if deciding what to do next. Nearly an hour passed before the bear finally disappeared into the trees. I felt some relief, but I didn't trust it. The bear might return and wait for me to come down. After another hour with no sign of it, I realized I couldn't stay in the tree forever. My house was only a few hundred meters away. I climbed down slowly, holding my knife in case I needed to defend myself. When I reached the ground, I waited, ready to climb back up. Nothing happened. I moved toward my house, constantly checking my surroundings. I walked faster, trying to stay silent, even though I knew bears had an incredible sense of smell. When I reached the plain where my house stood, I felt relieved. Then, at the last moment, the bear appeared again. There were no trees left to climb. The bear stood still, as if saying it had been waiting for me to come down and that now I had nowhere left to run. I ran toward the house, and the bear chased me. It was unbelievably fast. If the house had been farther away, it would have caught me. I reached the door, rushed inside, and slammed it shut. I ran to my room to get my gun, believing I was safe. The wooden door was solid, and it didn't seem possible for the bear to break in. I looked out the window and saw nothing. I stayed quiet, hoping it would leave. Then I heard soft sounds around the house, like something gently tapping on the walls and the door. I knew it was the bear, trying to lure me outside. I stayed inside, and the sound slowly stopped. I sat on the couch and then went upstairs. A few minutes later, something hit the door violently. The bear had decided to enter. Moments later, the door broke open, and it rushed inside, moving through the kitchen and living room, searching for me. Then it reached the staircase and looked up. From the top of the stairs, I aimed my gun and fired. The bullet hit the bear, and it let out a painful roar before running out of the house and disappearing into the forest. After that night, I returned to the city and decided never to live in the forest again.